Hey all, just a continuation of my shout out for Mark at WS Forms. And to be clear, I am not an affiliate. I have nothing to do with WS Forms whatsoever. I purchased it a couple of weeks ago to have a bit of a play with it, and it is absolutely brilliant. It is so flexible, so powerful. Mark, the developer, great guy, very responsive. And I want to share an experience that I had where there was a particular aspect I was looking for in the way the forms work. When I asked the question through the support group, the feature didn't exist at this point in time. Mark's response was, I'll make it happen in the next release. Within 2 days, we had a new feature doing exactly what I asked him to do. So absolutely brilliant. Very, very happy with that, and could not recommend Mark anymore based on this experience and the quality of the builder, the quality of the form plugin as well. So yeah, really, really good. Now, so I just want to very quickly show you what I was asking for and explain what I was looking for. So I am just working on a form here, which is a data collection form for when I do a discovery call with a client. And I want to collect a bunch of information of the basics, the branding, what features are they looking for, what marketing are they doing, and what content are we actually going to put on there. And at the end of it, what I want to do is submit this. It's going to connect up to my Notion account, create a project, and I'm ready to go with that client. Now, what I actually want is I want to fill these in. I want one of my staff to fill in this form and pre-fill it with all the information that we already know, then call the customer at some point, open up that partially created form or partially entered form, and continue on with editing the form. Now, the way WS Forms works, and a lot of other form builders work, is there is a save button that you can put on the forms. But what the save button does is it saves it as an entry in the back end. But then when you browse to this page, I'm just going to refresh this, for example. So we go to the details here, just refresh this here. It will pre-fill with the stuff that I put in there the last time I hit the save button. And what's interesting, if I go in there and change any of this here and then hit the reset, it doesn't reset the form, it resets it back to the last point that you saved it at. If you want to clear the form, you've got to click on this clear button. Okay, so it works really well for clients when you send them a form and say, here's the form, they start filling it in, run out of time, hit the save button, they come back to a later point, and they continue on with editing that form. So it works really well when the client is editing the form. What we've found is that when you send clients forms like this, they do not fill them in. Or if they do, they're kind of a half-baked effort, and and it just takes longer than it should. So what we do is we complete the form. So we pre-fill it, call the customer at a determined time, we do a Zoom call, and we collect all the information and fill the form in for the customer. So that is the method that we use to keep things moving. Now, so the problem with this is that if we're filling in the form, when we hit the save button, it's saving it with a session in our browser. So the next time we open it up, it just goes to the last entry that we used, not necessarily the client we're working with. So I wanted a way where from the back end, let's have a look at the back end here. The submissions, I've got a single entry in there at the moment because we're just playing with this. So from here, what Mark has added is this edit and preview, which does not exist in the previous version. So the edit here, without the edit preview, just brings up this basic editor on the side here. There is no way to change the status of that, so it's just always going to be sitting in progress because there's no way to change the status and submit that form. So what we wanted was that when you are in the back end here, so I could have 5 or 10 partially completed forms with the clients. I come into the back end, I hit edit and preview. That opens the form in the front end. we complete it like we would normally, hit the submit button, and now the form has been submitted. So that is the functionality that we're wanting. Now, that didn't exist until a couple of days ago, which is what Mark added for us. So I'm happy with that. Now I can have a list of clients that I'm working with here that I need to do discovery calls with, partially fill their details in, hit the edit and preview, complete the form while I'm on the phone with the customer. So that is brilliant. Now, what Mark has done is, because he's not sure how many people actually use this feature, he's made it a option. So we're going to go to the settings, advanced, and you've got to enable this enable edit and preview switch here. If you don't do that, then you don't get this edit and preview unless you enable that. Anyway, so thank you, Mark, for doing that. It's definitely made a difference to how I work. So yeah, thank you again.